Welcome, my spicy ladies. The strongest minds don't chase power. They study it, master it, and then move in silence. There's something totally different about Sigma females. They're not loud, they're not predictable, and they never waste energy trying to prove a point. They don't need a crowd behind them or constant validation. Their strength shows in how they think, how they watch, and how they move when no one's paying attention. Sigma females are wired differently. They're not here to please, impress, or compete. They're here to understand what others ignore. While most people are caught up in being seen, she's busy reading between the lines, spotting what's real and what's just noise. That's what separates her from the rest. She doesn't play short games. She moves with long-term purpose, even if no one sees the plan yet. And here's where it gets interesting. People often mistake her quiet nature for weakness. That's always their first mistake. Because while they're talking, she's observing. While they're trying to manipulate, she's already 5 steps ahead. It's not just that she's smart. It's that she uses her intelligence without ever needing to announce it. If you're a Sigma female, never question the way you move. You're not cold. You're not too quiet. You're just not here for shallow games. You're here to live with depth, strategy, and self-respect. This is exactly why Sigma females confuse and outsmart those who try to control or challenge them. Not with drama, not with force, but with calm, sharp decisions that no one sees coming until it's too late. And that's the real genius. Let's dive in. The spicy ladies. Number 1, they never play the same character twice. One of the most brilliant things about Sigma females is that they never play the same character twice. And no, it's not about pretending or putting on a mask. It's about being deliberately unreadable. Most people rely on patterns. They look for routine. They want to predict how you'll act so they can plan their next move. But with a Sigma female, that plan falls apart fast. You can't guess what she'll do next because even she doesn't move the same way twice. One day she might be quiet, calmly taking everything in. The next she might speak with such sharp clarity that it cuts through every fake layer in the room. She doesn't repeat performances, and that alone keeps people on edge. Enemies hate this kind of unpredictability. They want to figure you out. They want to prepare for your reaction. But a Sigma female never gives the same response twice. One situation might meet her calm, emotionless stare. Another might meet a direct, cutting truth that ends the conversation before it starts. Let's say someone tries to play emotional games with her, hoping she'll crumble or lash out. Instead, she goes silent, stares right through the act, and walks away. That silence stings more than any insult. Another time, she may call it out with such calm precision that the other person doesn't even realize they just got dismantled. She's not doing this for show. She's doing it to protect her energy, because the moment someone knows how to get a reaction, they think they can control you. Sigma females don't let that happen. They keep evolving. New level of thinking, new energy, new boundaries. Every version is real, but no version is fixed. And that's exactly what makes a Sigma female impossible to trap. Right now, if you're still watching, I hope this video can help you. Your comments motivate me so much, so I can make more videos which you like. So hit that subscribe button and leave me a message. Let's continue. Number 2, they don't argue, they dissect. Sigma females don't waste time arguing. They're not interested in emotional ping pong or shouting matches. When conflict shows up, they don't get loud. They get quiet, not because they're backing down, but because they're watching closely. While most people get lost in proving their point, a Sigma is already reading the deeper layers. She listens to the tone, the tension, the patterns underneath the words. She's not reacting to what's being said. She's analyzing why it's being said. And when she finally speaks, it's not to argue, it's to dissect. She doesn't raise her voice. She raises the level of awareness in the room. Imagine someone accuses her of being cold or too distant. A typical response might be defensive or emotional. But a Sigma female simply asks, "Why does my silence make you uncomfortable?" That one question cuts deeper than any comeback ever could. It flips the mirror back on the person, and suddenly they're the ones exposed. This is the difference. She doesn't come to dominate. She comes to reveal. And what she reveals often leaves the other person speechless, not because she attacked them, but because she made them face something real. Sigma females aren't here to win surface level fights. They aim for clarity. They want truth, even if it's uncomfortable. They don't need to overpower you. They just need to show you what's already true. Arguing is noise. Dissection is power. And a Sigma woman always moves with power. Steady, intentional, and unshaken. Number 3, they outlast, not just outwit. Sigma females don't rush. They don't chase quick wins or short-term applause. Their power isn't just in how smart they are. It's in how long they're willing to wait. See, most people want to be seen winning. They want to prove something fast. But a Sigma female, she's built differently. She knows the game is not about speed, it's about timing. She'll let you talk. She'll let you doubt her. She might even let you think you're ahead. But while you're busy showing off, she's gathering information, watching how you move, and collecting pieces that will matter later. She plays for the end game, and that's what makes her dangerous. This isn't about being passive. It's about being exact. She doesn't react. She studies. She doesn't explode when she's provoked. She steps back, recalibrates, and prepares in silence. Take this as an example. Someone betrays her, a close friend, or a partner. Most people would want instant payback, but not her. She won't confront or make a scene. She'll pull her energy back, disappear for a while, and rebuild herself in private. And when she returns, she's 10 steps ahead, and the person who wronged her won't even recognize who she has become. Sigma females outlast because they don't break when things take time. They build through it. They grow in silence while everyone else is seeking attention. And when they strike, it's not loud. It's clean. It's undeniable. No warning. No noise. Just results that no one saw coming. That's the genius of it. They don't need revenge. They don't need recognition. They just need time. And that's something most people can't handle. So, if you're a Sigma female, remember this. Patience is not weakness. It's your greatest weapon. Let the world move fast. You move wise. Number 4, they use the enemy's ego as a trap. Sigma females are masters at using the enemy's ego against them. They don't need to attack, argue, or compete. They simply observe. And when they spot pride, that loud, overconfident kind, they know exactly what to do with it. They feed it not with compliments, but with space, with silence. Sometimes even by playing it small, acting like they didn't notice the insult, like they're unsure, like they're not even paying attention. And while the enemy thinks they're in control, she's already 5 steps ahead. This isn't about manipulation. It's about letting prideful people reveal their own blind spots. You see, ego makes people reckless. It makes them underestimate the quiet ones. And that's the moment the Sigma female locks in. Imagine someone at work constantly trying to one-up her, talking over her, dismissing her ideas. Most people would fight back right away, but not her. She lets them have the spotlight. She lets them get comfortable being careless. Then, when the right moment comes, she speaks up calmly, clearly, and with a solution that silences the entire room. No drama, just undeniable impact. That's how she flips ego on its head. She never plays defense. She sets the trap and lets the enemy walk right into it, thinking they're winning. People don't realize it until it's too late. The Sigma female never needed to fight. She just needed the other person to expose themselves. And ego will always do that. So the next time someone underestimates you, don't rush to prove yourself. Watch. Let them get loud. Let them feel untouchable. And when the time is right, let your actions speak with precision. Because real power isn't about showing force. It's about knowing exactly when to use it and letting ego do most of the work for you. Number 5, they kill with kindness when it's disarming. Sigma females don't always fight fire with fire. Sometimes they fight it with kindness, but not the kind that seeks approval. This kindness is strategic. It's unsettling, and it's meant to confuse the person on the receiving end. See, when someone expects a cold response or a sharp comeback, getting warmth instead throws them off. It makes them stop and think. They replay the conversation later, wondering, did I miss something? And that's exactly the point. Sigma females don't use kindness to be liked. They use it as a tool to create psychological whiplash. Imagine someone who tried to tear her down, maybe at work, in a relationship, or in a public setting. Everyone expects her to snap back or hold a grudge. Instead, she responds with grace. She compliments something small. She offers help with no hesitation, no bitterness, no sarcasm, just clear, calm composure. But make no mistake, this isn't weakness. This is control. She's not trying to mend things. She's showing that she's unbothered, that their attempt to hurt her didn't even leave a scratch. And that messes with people. It makes them question how much power they actually have. It makes them nervous because they can't read her anymore. That's the genius of it. It's not passive. It's precise. She kills ego with grace. She wins without war. Some people will mistake it for forgiveness. Others will think they've won. But in reality, she's already moved on while they're stuck wondering how someone could be so calm after being crossed. Sigma females understand that true strength is not always loud. Sometimes it's in the choice not to react the way everyone expects. So next time someone thinks they've gotten under her skin, she just smiles. Not to make peace, but to remind them they never really understood her to begin with. Number 6, they don't expose their goals, they camouflage them. Sigma females don't walk around announcing their goals. They're not the type to post every move or share their plans just to feel productive. In fact, most of the time, people around them have no idea what they're really working on. And that's exactly the point. They understand one simple truth. If people can't see your target, they can't stop you from hitting it. So instead of explaining their mission, they camouflage it. They'll act casual, say nothing special is going on, and play it like they're just coasting. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, they're executing something 10 times bigger than anyone suspects. This isn't deception. It's protection. The fewer eyes on their path, the fewer hands trying to block it. Let's say a Sigma female is building a business or planning to leave a toxic job. She doesn't rant. She doesn't give warnings. She just keeps showing up, doing what's expected on the surface. But at night, she's applying, strategizing, building connections quietly. And when the moment comes, she doesn't explain. She just moves. And by then, it's already done. That's what throws people off. One day, they think they've got her figured out. The next, she's gone, elevated, upgraded, and no one saw it coming. She's mastered the art of subtle execution. No noise, no updates, just results. So, if you're a Sigma female, never feel pressured to overshare. Let them think you're resting when you're rebuilding. Let them assume you're stuck when you're secretly stacking wins. Remember, the loudest person in the room is rarely the one in control. You don't need to prove anything. Just keep your plans quiet, your actions sharp, and your vision locked in, because the most powerful moves are made when no one is watching. Number 7, they create psychological mazes. Sigma females don't attack you head on. That would be too easy and way too obvious. Instead, they do something far more intelligent. They build psychological mazes. They never fight in straight lines. They lead you into confusion using subtle gestures, vague words, and unpredictable behavior. Not because they're trying to manipulate, but because they know that most people fight themselves better than anyone else can. C. A Sigma female understands something most people miss. The human mind hates not knowing. It fills in the blanks. It makes assumptions. It creates stories. And that's exactly where she gains the upper hand. Let's say someone tries to test her, expecting her to act cold or defensive. Instead, she's kind, unusually kind. Then days later, she's quiet. Then she's observant. Then she disappears. The person trying to read her now has no clue what's going on. They start guessing, overthinking, and eventually they begin to doubt their own intentions. That's the maze. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't play games. She just refused to be predictable. She sent them down a mental path filled with confusion, second-guessing, and discomfort. And they walked into it willingly. This isn't manipulation. It's strategy. It's knowing that the mind of an enemy can be their own trap if you simply stay unreadable. By the time they realize what's happening, it's too late. They've exposed themselves. They've revealed their fears, their patterns, their insecurities, all while she's just been watching quietly. That's what makes Sigma females so hard to confront. You never really know where you stand with them. And that uncertainty, that's the weapon. Because when you're stuck in your own assumptions, you're already losing. And she never had to lift a hand. She just let your own mind do the work for her. Number 8, they provoke with stillness. Most people respond to pressure with noise. They defend. They react. They try to match energy. But a Sigma female, she does something most people can't even imagine. She stays still. And that stillness, it's not passive. It's not weakness. It's power in its purest form. When someone tries to provoke her, whether it's with disrespect, manipulation, or subtle shade, she doesn't flinch. She doesn't raise her voice or rush to explain herself. She doesn't fall into the emotional trap. She just remains calm. And that calmness, it's uncomfortable for people who want chaos because they were expecting a reaction, and now they have nothing to work with. That's what confuses them. Let's say someone at work tries to corner her during a meeting. Maybe they throw a slick comment hoping to get a rise out of her. Most people would fire back, but she just sits there, makes eye contact, says nothing. And that silence, it shifts the entire tone. Suddenly, the aggressor feels exposed because in her stillness, everyone else starts to notice what's really happening. Stillness is not the absence of response. It is the presence of control. And when a Sigma female holds that space, that poise, it makes people second guess everything. Did I go too far? Why didn't she react? What is she thinking? The overthinking begins, and she doesn't even have to lift a finger. This is how she wins, not by overpowering, but by refusing to be moved. It takes strength to stay still when someone is trying to shake you. It takes confidence to let the tension sit and not break the silence. But that's what makes the Sigma female different. She doesn't play the game of chaos. She lets others expose themselves while she stays grounded, because sometimes the loudest statement is saying absolutely nothing. Number 9, they know the power of showing nothing. Sigma females have mastered one thing that most people can't even fake: showing absolutely nothing. No reactions, no visible emotion, no breadcrumbs to follow. While the world is busy oversharing and over-explaining, she sits quietly watching everything and giving back zero. Not because she's cold, but because she understands the power of not being readable. She moves like a black hole, absorbing everything around her, pulling in details, tracking moods, reading tension, all without saying a word. And that alone makes people uncomfortable, because we live in a world where people expect feedback. A nod, a frown, a smirk, something. But when they get nothing from her, it throws them off completely. Let's say someone tries to provoke her, maybe with a slick comment or subtle disrespect. A regular person might snap, laugh it off, or defend themselves. But a Sigma female, she gives them nothing. Not a twitch, not a blink. She just looks at them with a face so still, it becomes a mirror. And in that mirror, people see themselves. That's when manipulators start to panic. They realize they're not in control. They can't predict her. They don't know what she's thinking or planning. And that drives them crazy. That emptiness is not a lack of response. It is the response, and it's louder than words. What makes it even more powerful is that people start filling in the silence themselves. They second guess. They overthink. They start revealing more just to break her stillness. And by then she's already figured them out. That's the brilliance of the Sigma female. She doesn't need to fight to dominate. She just keeps her emotions locked up, her expression steady, and her presence calm. That calmness makes people nervous because in silence she's saying, I see you. You just don't see me. And that's when the real control begins. Number 10, they build invisible empires while everyone else is trying to be seen, trying to go viral, trying to prove something. The Sigma female is doing the opposite. She's building quietly, privately, and with zero need for applause. She doesn't post every move. She doesn't talk about what she's working on. She just works. While others chase the spotlight, she disappears into her process. Not because she's hiding, but because real growth needs silence. Real power needs space. She's the type to level up, and no one even sees it coming. One day, people think she's still in the same place. Then suddenly, she's launching her brand, switching careers, walking away from toxic situations with complete clarity and no explanation. By the time they figure out what she's been up to, she's already gone. Already in a different league, already untouchable. That's what makes her different. She doesn't announce her dreams. She protects them. She doesn't need people to believe in her journey because she believes in it herself. Let's say someone underestimated her, thinking she was quiet or too low-key to make real moves. While they were talking and watching others, she was stacking skills, saving, learning, building her foundation brick by brick. Then one day, they look up and she's built an empire they can't even reach. But you'll never see her brag. You'll never see her flex because her wins speak louder than words ever could. Sigma females understand this. Visibility is not the same as progress, and clout is not the same as power. While enemies are busy being loud and chasing validation, she's crafting something permanent behind the scenes. So, if you're a Sigma female, stay quiet. Stay focused. Let them think you're doing nothing. Let them forget you. Then show up one day with something so solid no one can touch it. That's how invisible empires are born. In silence, built with purpose, and revealed only when complete. Number 11, they talk less to say more. A Sigma female doesn't waste words. She talks less, but when she does speak, people stop and listen. While everyone else is fighting to be heard, trying to dominate the room with noise and endless opinions, she's doing something different. She's thinking. She's reading the room. She's filtering out the nonsense. And when the moment comes, she drops one sentence that cuts through all the fluff like a blade. That's her gift. She doesn't talk just to fill space. She speaks with purpose. She chooses her words like weapons, sharp, minimal, and precise. She knows that 5 well-placed words can say more than a 20-minute rant. Let's say a group of people is going back and forth arguing, trying to sound smart, each person trying to get the last word. A Sigma female stays quiet the entire time. Then, when the chaos hits its peak, she says something simple like, "None of this solves the real problem." That one line resets the entire room. It's not about being mysterious. It's about being intentional. She doesn't chase validation through volume. She gets respect through impact. Every time she opens her mouth, there's weight behind it. People remember what she says, not because it's loud, but because it's real. And that's rare. In a world where everyone is trying to be louder, she dares to be still. While others need to be seen constantly, she's fine being overlooked until she speaks, and then nobody forgets her. So, if you're a Sigma female, never feel pressured to say more just to be included. You're not here to entertain. You're here to shift the entire atmosphere with a single line of truth, because silence isn't weakness. Speaking less, that's your power. When you talk, the noise fades and people finally hear what matters. Number 12, they study emotional footprints, not just actions. Sigma females don't just watch what people do. They pay close attention to why they do it. They study emotional footprints, not just surface behavior. To them, every reaction tells a story, and every hesitation reveals something deeper. You might laugh nervously, over-explain something, or flinch at a certain topic. And a Sigma female will clock it without saying a word. She doesn't need to ask you what's wrong. She already felt it, not through emotion, but through pattern. She tracks how people behave when they're calm versus when they're caught off guard. She watches what makes them flinch, what makes them defensive, what shuts them down. Over time, she builds a quiet map of who you really are underneath the surface. And that's where her strength lies. She doesn't fight with words. She doesn't argue over behavior. She goes straight to the root, to the psychology, to the story behind the reaction. Let's say someone lashes out at her over something small. Most people would react emotionally. A Sigma female, she won't even blink. She'll step back and ask herself, what are they actually afraid of right now? That simple question lets her see past the noise and straight into the fear, insecurity, or guilt fueling the behavior. That's how she gains the upper hand without ever raising her voice. Sigma females know that most people wear masks, but they also know those masks slip in small emotional moments. A change in tone, a forced smile, a sudden pause. She sees it all, stores it quietly, and if ever needed, uses it with precision. This is what makes her so mentally sharp. She doesn't need to overpower people. She just understands them so well that they lose the ability to hide. Because when you can read someone's emotional blueprint, you never need to guess their next move. In final words, power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it moves in silence, watches in stillness, and strikes without warning. Sigma females don't outsmart people by being louder or more aggressive. They do it by being unreadable. Their strength doesn't come from dominance. It comes from understanding, from knowing how people think, watching patterns, and using what others overlook. You don't need to play the same game everyone else is playing. In fact, you've never been interested in following the crowd. You don't need to announce your goals, compete for attention, or prove yourself to anyone. That's the beauty of who you are. Your quiet confidence, your ability to stay composed under pressure, and your gift for reading between the lines. That's your edge. You confuse your enemies not by reacting, but by making them question everything. They try to provoke you, but your stillness disarms them. They expect you to break, but your silence only sharpens your presence. You don't give them a script to follow. You leave them lost in their own assumptions. If you've ever felt misunderstood or underestimated, good. That means your true power is still hidden. Let them doubt. Let them guess. Because when you move, it will not be noise they hear. It will be impact they feel. So here's your reminder. Stay unpredictable. Stay calm. Stay committed to your path, even if no one else sees it yet. You were not made to fit into anyone's expectations. You were made to build quietly, observe deeply, and move with precision. Let them watch. Let them wonder. By the time they figure it out, you'll already be 10 steps ahead. That is the genius of a Sigma female. Quiet, strategic, unshakable, unmatched. Stay true to yourself. To all the spicy ladies, make life beautiful. Thank you for watching, and God bless.